Hey my loves, I am back with another YouTube video. I am going to be basically talking about and referencing the previous video that I made earlier today. I just wanted to come on here really quick just to give you guys a few tips that helped me as well through the anger process, and just to talk about the anger that I was actually dealing with. I couldn't really go into detail with you guys concerning it because, again, I was at work on my lunch break, had a lot going on, but I am free now to give you guys, I would say, what you've been missing. And thank you for tuning in to Trenae's Truth today. Please like, subscribe, and comment. If you have any questions or any topics that you would want to touch on, please drop it in the comments below. I will be more than happy to help you guys in getting through the journey as well, through your own journey as well. So let's get right to it. So the tips that I have today and the things that I wanted to come and actually explain to you guys was the type of anger that I was dealing with. I was dealing with anger from trust issues, betrayal, fatherless, motherless, all of those things. And it's even more than that. But just the sum of those things created in me the type of anger that had me very resentful of a lot of people. You know, I was stubborn, I was prideful in some areas, and it caused me to be stagnant, and it caused me not to be able to be my authentic self, you know. And part of why I created this YouTube channel is to actually go into depths of what Trenae Truth today means. That is the raw, uncut version of me. That is the version of me that a lot of people will not and have not been able to either see or will be able to see unless they are a subscriber on my channel. Now, there are some things that I will discuss that I won't go into details about, that you guys would actually see later on down the line throughout our journey here on my YouTube channel, because some of those things are actually going to be in my book, you know. And if you guys are just coming on and watching this video, I do recommend that you reference the last video so that this video would actually make sense on what I'm actually talking about. And for the last video, I did want to point out to you guys one thing. So don't be looking at my nails either, because I know I'm in the process of taking them off. So it's okay. But anyways, the people that are going to come on here that's married, and even for the ones that aren't married, that's divorced, or even for the ones that have significant others, what so have you, I did mention in my last video that I was married for 5 years. Now, a lot of you may have reasons as to why I'm not married anymore. I am just going to say that there was a lot of unresolved trauma and issues and pain that had built up so much to where it was almost like there was no chance of putting the pieces back together. You know, and I'm all for marriage, which is why I actually got married in the first place. I'm not going to say I was perfect in my marriage. You know, I'm not going to say my marriage was perfect. But what I will say is, you know, there were some things that I felt I just couldn't come back from, you know, and there were some things that he may have felt like he just couldn't come back from. So it was kind of just a situation to where it was like, we're better off in separate houses. We're better off just not moving forward with this. And in some cases, you know, of course, when you're going through a divorce, you have second thoughts. You know, you will have second thoughts. You will think twice about it. You know, it is a grieving process as well, because who wants to get a divorce, right? Like, it's just not... it's not a good feeling, you know. And I know for him, You know, it was a lot of unforgiveness. It was a lot of pain. And for me, even though I was able to forgive, there was just a lot that I just could not forget. And I felt like it would hinder the process of even trying to restore what was broken and maybe mend things, because I had so much anger. You know, it just goes back to that. I had so much anger built up. And then even over time, it just seems like things just got completely worse. You know, he became very disrespectful. And it was just to the level of like, yeah, no. It was to the point where you as a person would probably be, if, let's say, let me give you guys an example. If you were in a situation where you was in a relationship, well, I'm not going to say relationship because we're talking about a marriage here. So you're married to the father of your children, and of course you guys are going through marital issues and problems, and you're trying to find a way to work through it. But then, you know, in the process, you guys separate. So he's living in one house, you're living in another, and you know, you're trying to work it out, but at the same time, he has his own life he's living. You have your own life you're living. And it's kind of like nobody really knows what either party is doing, which creates issues if neither party is mature. You see where I'm going with this? So there were some parts of me that was immature. There were some parts of him that was immature. But there were some parts of him that was a little bit more problematic for me, and just had a lot to do with not having self-control, you know. So in the midst of that, it just created me to get into a place where I was angry all the time. I couldn't trust nothing that he said. It was always a question, or, you know, I knew that if he was to leave the house, if we were to get back together, that would be like a whole problem. So it was like, what other option do I have, you know? And for him, he wasn't really into the whole, oh, let's do counseling thing, because he felt it was too emotional. And I just, you know, me being a communicator, a person me knowing myself and knowing that I like to communicate, and I am a communicator, and trying to fix something that's already broken, I can't do all the work, if you know what I mean. Like, I can't try to fix you and I'm already broken myself. Like, I have to fix me first before I can even work on trying to help you get yourself together, if that makes sense. But anyways, it just all goes back to anger. It all goes back to anger. And it caused me to lack trust in a relationship that even came after that, you know. And in that relationship, it was traumatic, you know, because there was a lot that went on with that, and a lot of trust issues, and a lot of things that just didn't sit well with me, you know. And I'm saying my part and I'm speaking my story, but everyone has a side to tell. So the side that I'm telling is my side and the truth of what I feel was actually going on in the process of me going through life, and then these relationships, and then things that I was already dealing with stuff before I even got married, you know. Again, I was fatherless, motherless is what it felt like to me, you know. And that's a hard place to be. That's a hard place to be. And when I think back and I look back at certain things that I've accepted, it was like, it disgusts me, you guys. Like, I just I can't even imagine I went through that. I can't even imagine that I put myself through that. Like, knowing who I'm becoming now and the maturity that I have, gained throughout this whole process, and just learning emotional intelligence and what it means and how to deal with people and how to understand people's emotions and all of that. Y'all, like, I'm mind blown. I'm mind blown by some of the things that I settled for, and it just made me notice a lot of what I went through is because of the relationships that I've either chose to be in, and even in that, the ones that the men that I was picking. And it always seemed like it's the same men. I was like, oh Lord, like, no, what is going on and where am I going wrong at? Because why it seemed like I'm meeting the same person in a different body. Have y'all ever felt like that? You was literally dating the same person, but it was a different person in a different body. And you like, I just came from this. I just went through this. I'm not going through this again. So it was kind of like those moments. And of course, it didn't start off like that, but the fact that it ended in a way that was like unexpected, it was kind of like, why didn't I listen to myself? Why didn't I listen to my intuition? And every woman has it. Every woman has an intuition. Every woman knows when something is not right. I don't care what no one says. Every woman knows when something is not right. I believe even a man knows that when any woman that they've been with, I would say a year and plus, they gonna know when that woman knows something is up or knows when something is not right. They're gonna know, because she's gonna either show it in her attitude, the way that she responds. And again, all of this it ties into emotional intelligence. It ties into self-awareness. It ties into internal motivation. It ties into, social skills, empathy. All of those things tie into everything that I'm talking about now. And I wanted to give you guys tips concerning anger, because this is the thing. When you're angry, anger clouds your judgment. That's number one. That's the number one tip I want you guys to understand. When you are angry, you are not able mentally to be able to think in a clear state of mind without whatever situation that has caused you to be angry to cloud your judgment. It's just bound to happen. It's bound to happen. And for me, that was something that always took place. My judgment was cloudy. It always clouded my judgment. And sometimes I could be angry because I haven't, and that was the thing. So, and I'm going to say this real quick and I'm going to be done. With tip number one, of course. I got 3 tips for y'all. But the number one tip, if you just miss it, was being angry causes you. Being angry causes you. Well, I'm not going to say causes you. It causes your judgment to be cloudy. You're not able to think straight. You got to understand, like, emotional intelligence it comes from your emotions, how you feel, how you respond to things, how you react to things. Are you aware of other people's emotions and how they're feeling? Are you able to even understand how you feel within? So I wanted to say this to you guys really quick though before I move forward. When I was dealing with any type of anger or anything that had upset me, I noticed that my judgment was always cloudy. no matter what it was. You know, and sometimes my issue was, I'm not even going to say sometimes, my issue was leaving my marriage, not giving myself time to heal completely, like completely heal from all of the pain, the trauma, the abuse, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of that. All of the abuse that I dealt with, I didn't give myself time to heal from all of those things from my marriage. So what I did was, I felt like, oh, well, to take my mind off of these things, let me just go back to the person that I know, you know, loves me and want to be with me, and all of these other different things that I had in my mind. And I knew for a fact that if we were to talk again, he would be on go. He would be on green, like, I'm ready, you know. And that's kind of where I was at that moment. And I'm not saying that I'm proud of that, because I'm not, because it actually caused more problems than none. And because I wasn't healed all the way, it caused problems, and even in that relationship. So the most important thing is, with anger, it clouds your judgment. That's tip number 1. So know that. Tip number 2 is, when you are angry, give yourself time to feel those emotions. Feel those emotions. And what I mean by that is, let yourself sit there and think about what just happened. How did it make you feel? What are you feeling? Do it make you feel good? Do it make you feel upset? Do it make you feel betrayed? Do it make you feel like you want to kill somebody? You know, do it make you feel like you want to kill that person? Because you don't want to feel like that. Now, that's a little too far, but I had to mention that because some people have these type of thinking patterns. Seriously, they do. And now, I didn't have those thinking patterns, but I'm saying, like, for me, it was more so of I felt betrayed, or I felt like I wasn't good enough, you know, or I felt like, what can I do to change that will make him love me more, or would make him want to change his ways. But it didn't have nothing to do with me. And that be the thing, y'all. We be thinking that we could change these men. And then even so with men, you know, because I am, look, I don't choose sides. I am all for right. Right is right, wrong is wrong. That's kind of how I look at things and how I view things. And even with men go through things too. So even when it comes to women, you know, you do have some women out here that are manipulators. You have women out here that are using men for their money, that are gold diggers, that are acting like men now. Like, let's talk about it. All in their masculinity with no problem, no issue. Like, they the whole man in a relationship. Who wants to be with a woman like that? I'm just saying, though, like, no man wants a woman who want to take the lead and be the woman at the same time. You can't do both. God didn't even create a woman to lead. He created the man to be the head of the household. The woman is the helpmeet. So all of these things plays a part in emotional intelligence. All of these things plays a part with how you handle people and how you deal with your situation, how you deal with your spouse, how you deal with anything that you're going through. Because at the end of the day, as much as we want to blame somebody else, there was a part that we played that caused things to go the way that they did. And that's why in my last video I talked about being able to take accountability for your own actions and for, you know, what you were doing, or, well, I'm going to say for my own actions. It had a lot to do with me being able to take accountability for my own actions and what I was accepting in relationships, because in those relationships, the things I was accepting were the very things that was causing me to be insecure, causing me not to, step into my worth, causing me to feel less than, causing me to feel like I got to be somebody else in order to be good enough for him. Absolutely not. I don't have to do that, because I wasn't created to be somebody else, or rather to fit in. I was created to stand out. And guess what I'm doing now? I'm standing out. I'm not trying to fit in. I'm not trying to be somebody that I'm not. And whoever don't accept it, adios amigos. That's just in the story, and my whole mentality, my whole mental state of mind as of now, even though I'm still in the process and I'm still maturing and growing in my faith, and growing in the things of God and what He wants me to do and how He wants me to move. This is not an easy process, but it's not a hard process either. You just have to put in the work, and if you can put in the work, you can reap the benefits. You reap what you sow, and I feel so you know how they have a question that basically says, if you can change anything about yourself, what would you change? Anything in your life, what would you change? I wouldn't change nothing. I wouldn't change nothing, surprisingly. And I used to feel like I would change. Like, I used to tell myself, like, I would change having kids. I probably wouldn't have kids right now. Or I probably wouldn't want to put myself in a position where I was choosing the same men. I probably wouldn't even picked him. Like, it was like things like that I was thinking of. But when I think about it, y'all, I wouldn't change nothing, because who would I be?